Okay, today, November 9th, 2023, class number 599. I call it the 3 P's: Projector, Projection, and Perfection. I use the foundation scripture, Revelation 3, verse 20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. And if any man opens up, I will come in and sup with him, and he with me. Now, what I did was I looked at Mark. This is one of my favorite scriptures because I quote it all the time. Mark 11, verse 24. What things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. Now, I think his name is Farrar Fenton. He said, when you pray, believe you already have them and you shall see them. And that's where Lillian DeWaters got all, she quoted Paul on all things are yours because you already have everything. And so when you think about it, and you say to yourself, well, I ain't projecting the stuff that I want, that I desire, that I have. I ain't projecting that. And where's all this other stuff coming from? You gotta ask yourself that question. If everything is mine, why aren't I projecting everything that's mine? Where is this other stuff coming from? I certainly asked myself that last week. When Lois said last week, I called vertigo some of everything. Me too. I'm like, where is this coming from? We're gonna get to that, and you'll see. Now, you already have all these wonderful things. Everything that you desire, you already have because they're ideas. We've said that a million times, but how many times also have we said, you have to know the truth. You can't know about the truth and have the truth manifest itself to you. I know about the president as president of the United States, but I don't know the experience of president of the United States. In other words, I can't manifest being president of the United States unless I become that within my own mind. I have to be that in order to have it. See, it's already there. It's sitting there. But if I don't ever go down to the bank, as Lillian DeWaters says, knowing who I am, presenting my identity, and writing out one of those little forms and saying, I want to withdraw, I ain't going to get no money out of it. I don't care how much I got in there. I just withdrew some money out of my 401k plan the other day. They put me through a litany of questions to make sure who I am. When I was able to confirm all that was written down there about me, they said, okay, Mr. Orr, how can we help you? You know what I mean? It took them 2 minutes to help me and took 15 minutes for them to confirm who I am. All these questions, you know. So what I'm saying, though, is when you know who you are instead of knowing who somebody says you are. Just think about it. For the longest time as a kid, you were knowing who somebody told you were. But then you had to start being who you are, and it was a transition. Well, in this case, a lot of us don't take time for the transition to really take place. We start saying what we're supposed to have. But you already have it. You have all of the ideas. There's nothing else. The whole realm of heaven is the realm of spiritual ideas. And so we're going to start, today, we're going to talk about manifesting these ideas. Now, your desire, and you'll be surprised what happens once you start realizing, well, you'll take a passing thought like last night. I was like, man, I like that. There's one scene in the woods where that movie about these black kids in Inglewood, California, and what have you. And I was thinking about it early in the day. So then last night I'm looking for something, and what comes up? The woods. Because I wanted to see that. The day before, it was something else I wanted to see. Bang, it came up. So I'm like, so it's that easy. You want something, and you just say, yeah, I really would like to. And a feeling comes with it. And then you go and forget about it. Because it doesn't really mean that much to you. You don't have a whole lot of value on it. It's just something you'd like to do. Yesterday was a little tougher. That vertigo was messing with me. Yeah, but I still want to go jogging. I'm on a schedule. So before I went, I thought about it. And I saw myself go around the pond and get finished. And I'm getting in my car. But I left out one part where I had parked. And so I was like, well, I'll get a parking space. You ever done that? I'll get one. And then it ends up being 300 yards away from where you're supposed to go. So that's what happened. I get down there and I said, okay, there's a spot there, but maybe I can get one closer. When I come back to get ready to park, some guy pulls up in the spot I was going to get. And, of course, it had 2 hours and some time on it. And the next one to it had about 3 minutes. I said, nah. So then I said, well, I rolled around again and went and parked further away from where I wanted to park. But then I had already seen myself finish. And I said, with this vertigo, man, when you do your sit-ups, you get a little funny feeling in your head and things start moving in the house and you laying still. And you said, man. And it was like, yeah, but I've already seen myself do the sit-ups. So I'm going to be fine. So I get on down there on the floor, get on the thing, do the sit-ups, reading books, what have you, and get up. And I go, oh, was that easy? Yeah, but question. What was I anticipating after I was through doing all of the exercise? What was I anticipating? Wonder when the next time this thing going to come back and the room start shaking again and I've got to deal with it. Then I'll be back in lowest mode, calling it some everything. So, I'm transitioning. Be ye saved based on a transformation in your mind. You see what I'm saying? So you can't know about the truth. That's like, this is what's supposed to happen. You have to know the truth. This is what has happened already, like Solomon. That which is to be has already been. So, it has happened, or if you have the idea, you already have it. So, we really want to manifest what has already happened, and we want to manifest it in the apparent, that means appearances, apparent world. So, it all starts with what? Love. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, your mind, and your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. So, you have to realize that if I am love, that means I'm doing everything from God's perspective. The I that I am is one with God. So I'm doing everything. I'm seeing my neighbor as God. I'm seeing myself as God. I'm seeing everything as God. Now, that's not real hard to do when you change the words. I'm seeing everything as good. I'm seeing everything as spirit. I'm seeing everything as idea. That's not so hard. And if you're really convicted about that, it gets easier and easier. So you become judgmental, but you judge righteous judgment. You're looking at righteousness all the time. You throwing your net on the right side of the ship as long as you are saying, well, if God is all there is nothing but God, then that means everything is God. From a rock to my feet and everything in between. everything. My heart, my mind, my soul, my legs, my feet, everything. God is in everything because God has made everything out of God. That's just it. 2, 4, 6, 2 times 2, 2 divided by 2, 2 multiplied by 2. That's principle. You can't change the principle of anything. A principle, once it is completely perfect, that means that principle is the projector. And the principle is projecting the result of the truth. That means you are the principle, and you are projecting the knowledge that you are. Not that you know about, but that you are. And when you project, you is going to be complete no matter what. That's what perfection means, complete. Okay. Now, with that understood, you cannot continue to desire, as we said last week, things as though they are material. You can't do that because there's no such thing. You cannot. Hebrews 11, verse 3. The worlds were framed by the word of God, so that things that are seen are not made out of things that appear. See, it looks like they're made out of material stuff, but they're not. They're made out of the word of God. They're made out of the essence, the ethereal property. That which you can't see is that which makes itself that which you see. And it remains that way forever. So now we know that. So that means that, okay, so whatever it is that I'm looking for, I need a ride to work. That's spiritual. I need transportation. That's spiritual. I need food to eat. And that's why it says, take no thought for the things of this world. Take no thought for what you are to eat, to drink, or to be clothed. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And so what happens is you're given the ideas already. It's already there. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of, or the realm of perfect ideas are already in your mind. Your mind is the only mind that there is. There is no other mind. So when they come up with this carnal mind, which is the enmity against God, that's not true. That's you perceiving some other kind of mind, which you can't do, by the way, because you are made out of God. All about you, you are made out of God. There's nothing else for you to be made out of. So what you understand is the world that you are living in, y'all ready for this, is the world that you are projecting. See, you are projecting the world that you are living in. You are projecting a world that you are contending with. You are projecting a world that you are judging to be unfair. You are judging it to be, case in point. I was thinking this morning, do I really believe in democracy? And you know what my answer was? No. See, I don't think a group of people have the right to go into a little booth and vote and say how I'm supposed to act. See, the only difference is with Russians and what have you, they got one man telling you how you're supposed to act. Here in the United States, what do we have? Well, the general consensus, you hear stuff like that. People always talking about how, we can have this and we can have, no, you can't. You can have what they say. Women's rights, women's health. The people voted and said that the politicians don't have anything to do, or they shouldn't have anything to do with a woman's rights. Nobody should have anything to do with a woman's rights because a woman has a right to go unto the Father and listen and hear from the Father and do what she thinks is right based on choice. Romans 8. You have choice. Men, same thing. You have choice. But have you noticed that this beautiful democracy that we supposedly have, they arguing and fighting over whether a woman ought to have an abortion or not, but they ain't saying nothing about whether a man, and y'all can fill in the rest of it, right? They ain't saying that, you know what, we're going to pass a law so a man can't go in there and get his stuff cut so he can't make babies no more. They ain't saying none of that. Why ain't what's good for the goose good for the gander? Why isn't that? Because men are running things. And I'm not paying any attention. I don't believe in the democratic process. If it's a democratic process, then why do you have all this Supreme Court and they can overturn and they can, it's almost like they don't talk to each other. We do what we want to do. I can get the biggest constituency in there and I can get voted in, and then I got to do what once I get in there? I got to do what my constituency says, because now I'm in there based on they gave me enough money to talk about folks. That's why I don't waste my time with listening to no debate. Here's this man sitting up on there last night. This is the only thing I'll say about that. I do get on my little stool for a minute. The man, an Indian dude, I can't even say his name, Bill or something, I don't know. But he said, well, if you want, he looked at that woman, Nikki Haley. I just saw it this morning. He looked at the woman, Nikki Haley, and said, well, if y'all want something like some TikTok broad in 3-inch heels, and you think she can do this, and she can, I was like, see, this is back to when we were kids, talking about each other in front of millions. People all around the world looking at a debate, which really wasn't a debate. We knew that wasn't going to be that. So, I'm sitting there going, but you see, that doesn't mean anything to me because I'm not projecting that. I don't care about it. I'm projecting the truth that I know. But sometimes I start running out of my juice. I start running out of gas. What's the first gas that you run out of when you start saying, okay, all things are mine. Okay, so I got this, I need, give me, lend me, I need this, or all things are mine, but this is what I really need, this is what I want. Lily in the water says, all I got to do is make a wish. I make the wish, and the wish comes to pass. What's the first part of gas that starts running out? Patience. Well, when is this going to happen? I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. When is this vertigo going to go away? Patience. Patience. It says, be followers of them who through faith and patience. Well, faith means I'm you know what? I'm assured of it. I know it's mine. God says it's mine. You just go on and on and on and on and on. But then there's the patience, the ability to stand right in there and realize this thing is happening whether it looks like it or not. And that, my friend, is, I don't know about you, but that's where I start running a little short. Wait a minute, God said, command ye me. I command this thing to move, to do. Why some things just move right along and then other things just take forever? Because you have not given yourself the assurance that you're patient. You expect to be patient, and that's the feeling that comes. I'm patient. When you get that little feeling, that little, it's your thoughts and not my thoughts. Well, okay, what's your thought? I'm patient. Well, what's your thought, Michael? I'm tired of waiting on this thing to come through. You see what I'm saying? So when faith and patience are together, you inherit the promise. Lord, you promised me in Psalms 112 that wealth and riches would be in my house. Okay. How many times do you believe, how have you believed that wealth and riches are in your house when you start looking around at your house and it looks like it threw a tantrum and didn't never work itself out? So how are you, is the faith and the patience working together? Well, no. Why? Because you keep saying you promise. Well, you can't get the promise until you accept the fact that the faith and the patience are in agreement. I am following them who through faith and patience inherited the promises. See, just because I made the wish today didn't mean that it appeared in its complete form, even though, now watch this, it is a complete form. The idea and the form exist as one thing. There is no separation. There is no, I have the idea of being rich, but I got to wait to be rich. That's not it. I have to wait for the feeling that I am assured that this promise has already been kept. That's the patience is I'm waiting for that click, as Goldsmith calls it. I'm waiting for that feeling, that assurance. You see, when you said, man, I sure would like to have, like Kenny said a couple of weeks ago, I sure would like, what was it that he wanted? Pizza. But then he forgot about it. He didn't care. It wasn't no value. He just would like to have it. So he had a little feeling like, yeah, I know this is what I would like to have. And he forgot about it. Click. He goes to a party, and they got too many pizzas, and they say, can you take 2 boxes home? That's how it works. The quicker you can forget something, because you accepted the fact that, yes, this is what I would like to have, and then forget about it. I forgot that I wanted to see the wood. Bang, the wood showed up. Yeah, but I can't forget that I owe this bill coming on Friday, and I don't appear to have enough, so I'm going to have to try to work out. See what I mean? Then you pour your feeling into working out something. I need a plan. So you start with, can I pay you next Tuesday for a hamburger that I'm going to eat today? And you working it all out. See, once the faith and the patience is going on, as I said, now, see, remember now, be fruitful and multiply. I said this to, I was talking to Marion yesterday, and she was talking about something about order. And I said, well, let me ask you this. I said, look at Genesis 1 all over again. I said, now, when you roll through Genesis 1, I said, did God have any kind of a problem with anything that he said, let there be? And she said, well, no. I said, all the way, let there be light. Let there be a firmament. Let there be, let the dry land come forth. Then let there be a greater like the sky with the moon and the sun and the stars. Then let there be the abundance of the fish in the sea and plants and trees and all this kind of stuff. Then he says, let us. Who is us? Spirit, soul, body. Let us make what? Man. What is man? A manifestation of us. And then we're going to do what with it? Well, he's going to have dominion over all of everything that I have made. And he's going to be fruitful and multiply. Anything God told you to do, that's what you're going to do, be fruitful and multiply. And so, what are you multiplying? Your fruit. Love, joy, peace, faith, patience, meekness. That's the one people don't really understand. Because, see, the patience, while you're being patient, you have to be meek, which means, like this big tree, weeping willow, when the wind blows, it bends right down with it, and it comes back. It bends down with the wind, and it comes back. That's called it being pliable. But you're manifesting patience the whole time you're bending. But when you start fighting back, trying to fight what's going on, you're not being meek or humble, and so therefore, that's where it's all getting discombobulated. You know damn well, the minute you start fighting, you're out of faith, because it means you believe something other than what you thought. So now you have to be transformed like Little Richard said, all over again. Transformed by the renewing of your mind. So, all of this is standing at the door. Love, joy, peace, faith, patience, meekness, kindness, goodness, self-control. It's all standing at the door. But what is it that we have been letting in? If you read in the book of Haggai, I think it's chapter 2. In the book of Haggai, it says, you know what, up to this point, your trees have not borne fruit. Up to this point, you have not borne any fruit. From this day forward, I will bless them. Who is the I? You. So, you will bless them. But you got to understand what the difference is. You see, the difference in soul and spirit. That's the word is sharper than any two-edged sword, dividing asunder between soul and spirit. Now, this is where you got to not know about, but you got to know this. Spirit is the absolute essence of everything. And the Spirit of the Lord moves over the face of the earth. Well, that makes you think like there's this thing that came out of something and started moving around. No. Spirit is always hovering. It's always there. That's what they call vibration. The laws of attraction. They're talking about, well, if something is standing there hovering, it's hovering over everything. So now that we realize that this is the finest essence and you would never be able to see it. And there's only one thing that can discern it. And that is the difference in spirit and soul. Soul can discern the spirit because soul is your feeling nature. A lot of people call it conscious mind and subconscious mind. They call the subconscious the female and they call the conscious the male. But those two in agreement. Now, with that understood, you understand that the finest essence that you can't see, that everything is made out of, is spirit, which is God. Now, next we have soul. Soul is the feeling nature. You feel it and it manifests. You feel it and it manifests. Then you have body, which is still spiritual. Body is not material, but it is going to outpicture your understanding of you and who you are, and that you have everything. The idea, everything you want is an idea, and all you need to do is be patient while you are pliable, just bending with the way things are going. It doesn't mean you believe that it's bad. It just means that you are able to bend. You are able to be flexible, because at the end of the day, you still have what you have. God is not testing you. You are. The God that you think of is, well, God is putting Abraham through it. God didn't put Abraham through no test. That's the way that's written. That's King James. Abraham did. If I believe this, then I'm going to do this. I will sacrifice my son. Well, the word sacrifice means to make whole. Hallelujah. Now we're going to get into what that means. Now I'm going to pull up something that I looked at the other day, blew my mind. And that is, I was reading James 18. And I said, well, wait. James 1:18, something is really, I was reading, it was like, it blew my mind because, well, you just listen at it. It says, well, 17. Let's start 16. Let's start with 16. Do not be deceived, my beloved brother. Well, no, let me go back. Let's go back to 15. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going back. Because 14 sets it all up. Because each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. I'm reading from the Amplified Bible, okay? Your own desire. Change the word own to personal. This is broke, so I got to fix it, okay? Now, we're not talking about, I broke a toy, so I'm going to fix it. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the system is broken, and so we're going to have to fix the system so that it will, okay. Good luck with that. Okay. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. Now, what he means there is when you desire materiality, that's sin, and it's going to die. You're trying to fix a broken body. You're trying to heal. Jesus wasn't healing broken bodies. Okay. Do not be deceived, my beloved brothers. Verse 17, every good gift and every perfect gift, those are the ideas now, is from above, coming down from the Father of light. That's us. With whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. You can't change. You are light. There's no darkness in you. Now I want you to listen at verse 18. Of his own will he brought us forth by the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Now, I want you to hear this. This is just really, this was so important to me. Verse 18 in the Amplified. It says, if you understand this, you will never forget. It was of his own will that he gave us birth as his children by the word of truth, so that we would be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. And then they have these brackets. This means that this is the revelation that they got. A prime example of what he created, here it is right here, to be set apart to himself, sanctified, made holy for his divine purposes. Now, made sanctified, set apart for his purpose. Now, remember we had Rocco Erico. One day we went through this whole thing on setting a trap for God. In setting a trap for God, when it says, hallowed be thy name, it means thy name is set apart for a specific purpose. You are the name of God set apart for a specific purpose. And what specific purpose is that? To manifest the fruit. You are to have dominion. I used to always say, why am I here? What's my purpose? And then finally just kept coming until I realized my purpose is to be set apart, to have dominion over the earth, to be fruitful and multiply. Then that makes Haggai now make sense. Up to this point, you've borne no fruit. What does that mean? Well, as a tree of righteousness, you have been out here trying to bring stuff into manifestation, dealing with it on the outside, trying to fix it, trying to do it, how build relationships with people so that you can get. What have you been projecting? You have been projecting all of the stuff that does not work. And if it looks like it works, it all goes up, and then it boom, crashes. It comes down. Why? Because it doesn't have anything to sustain it. It did not start with, let us, spirit, soul, and body. The thought that you are putting in mind and the thought that you are feeling is what you are projecting, and it projects perfection, which means completeness. So if you put something in there that's going to fail, you are projecting failure. If you put something in there that's going to succeed, you are projecting success. And that success would be forever. Sort of like Jesus. That got me thinking one time, too, about something that I'm that I'm manifesting right now. And that is, Jesus went to his hometown. And he could not do many mighty works because of their unbelief. Now remember, we said you are projecting your own world. Well, what world was Jesus projecting when he went to his hometown? He knew they didn't believe. He knew they wouldn't believe. He couldn't do no many mighty works because in his mind he knew they were not going to believe that a carpenter's son, one that they had already called a bastard, ain't no such thing as no woman having no baby without sexual intercourse. See, when you ever gone to your hometown and go, oh, that's Marywood's boy. Yeah, he ain't, okay, yeah, all right. I remember him. His daddy didn't never come home. In fact, his daddy left them a long time ago. His whole family got put out of the neighborhood because they ain't have nobody working in the mine no more. See, that's democracy. That's democracy. If somebody in your family works in the mine, then all y'all can live in these mine-owned houses and rent and what have you. But the minute my grandpa got killed in the mine, the people of that town rose up and said, they shouldn't be able to live in their house anymore. They should have to go find somewhere to live. Why? Because, we next in line to get a house, and we paying cheaper. That's democracy. See, nobody's sitting around going, oh, well, let's go to God and see how we're supposed to act right here. We're supposed to multiply. Be fruitful. We ain't manifesting no fruit here. We saying, no, it's my right. I'm supposed to have this. So that's what I'm getting at here today. What are you projecting? What world are you looking at? It's the one that you let us, not all us together, us. Spirit, soul, body. Let's go over what spirit is again. Spirit is the fine essence that you cannot see, taste, touch, or smell. You can't. You can't hear it. All you can do is perceive it by way of soul. Soul is also that essence, but it's a little more dense. So that means it can feel. And that feeling that it generates is the womb of creation. That is what makes things come forth, because the idea and the form are one. There's no such thing as an idea and then it has no form. Victor Hugo says there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Now, when we first got started, before some of you got on the class, we were talking about, or at least I was saying, that I had no problem getting used to the time change. Before, my eyes were popping open, and I was getting up out the bed, it was 10 o'clock. I knew in my mind it was 9, but it was 10. Okay. Well, guess what? My eyes pop open now, and guess what time they pop open? 9. Didn't nothing change. I still get up doing what I was doing at the time I was doing it. I was eating at 6:30. I knew it was 5:30. I knew it. And so then now, when do I get hungry for dinner? When do I get up and start getting dinner together? A little after 5, because I normally eat between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. The time change didn't have nothing to do with it. All we did was move the hands on the clock. In fact, technology is advanced, so I ain't got to move no hands no more. My clock's just changed. I don't care. I don't even pay any attention. I just know what time it's going to be, because I don't concern myself with it. Y'all get my point? What you concern yourself with, you're going to feel. And if you feel it, you're going to project that feeling as some kind of form, because you have formulated an idea of, oh, man, time go back tomorrow. I'm going to lose an hour. I'm going to gain an hour. I didn't care. I really didn't. It didn't matter to me at all. So I am going to stop thinking in terms of materialism. Goldsmith had this thing. He went overseas, South Africa, I think is where it was. And when he got off the plane and they went to thing, the baggage goes one way, and he goes another. Then you go up to the thing where the little thing is, the carousel is circling, and you get your bag. He got up there, and his bags weren't there. He was looking and waiting around, he had a bag. So then he was gone for 3 weeks. His students had to help him buy clothes. They bought clothes for him away because he didn't have no changes of clothes. In other words, like the man said, you know what I mean? You ain't got no drawers, you're in trouble. Can you imagine that? You get up every day, washing out your underwear, you got to wait for them to dry. They had no dryers. We talking in the 40s. There ain't no dryers. You got to wait for them to dry. Then, so they go out, they buying clothes. 3 weeks went by. That man had to be patient. Guess what? One night when he was going to bed, he said, this don't make no sense. I'm teaching this infinite way stuff and telling everybody about how it works and we healing folk and this, and this. Something's wrong. And I got to figure out what's wrong. So he lays down, he said, and he's laying there, and this quiet came over his mind. See, that's what Rocco Errico writes, come now your kingdom. That's the counsel of God, the word that everything is made out of. He's laying there, and the word comes to him. You are looking for material baggage in a spiritual universe. There's no such thing as matter. And he said, oh, wow. And he drifted on off and went to sleep. And so then, I don't know whether it was the next day or a day after, but all I know is in no time flat, somebody got in touch with me and said, we got these bags, and they've been sitting here on this in this hotel. You see, they took the bags off and delivered them to the hotel. And they sat there at the hotel for 3 weeks. And he never dawned on him to look at the hotel because he thought they were supposed to be at the airport. And so then they got in touch with him and told him where his bags were, and he got his bags. But he got them when he was ready to leave and go somewhere else. And he said, God, it was a lesson. God sustained him the whole time. Well, who was God but himself that decided, okay, I'm going to be pliable. He was manifesting the fruit of meekness. So he's projecting meekness. He's projecting kindness. He's projecting goodness. He's projecting joy. He's projecting love, peace. His students are all coming together and buying stuff. He ain't putting a donate button on YouTube to say, if y'all send me some money so I can get some clothes. He ain't doing that. He's just going on preaching the gospel. And things were just working out. So we got to stop thinking in terms of materiality. I look back over my life, and I said, wow, man, I remember when, if I have dominion over all the ideas, I looked at have you ever done this? You look back and see how things have worked. And then you look back at when things didn't work. And did you take the responsibility of the things that didn't work? Well, no. It was always, well, Day-Day was supposed to do this, and Cootie was supposed to do this, and they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and that put me in a bad. You ever seen? I've done it. I don't know about y'all, but I have. Yeah, see, I took my music just as good as everybody else's, but then when it came time for my turn, they always found something wrong with it. No, bruh, you were finding something wrong. You were coming up with, they're not going to accept me. You were coming up with all of the stuff that wasn't working. You were coming up with, well, you know what I mean? Listen to this, man. This girl can't even sing, and they pumping this stuff all over the radio. This person, you know what? The record companies, they paying all this money to get this, and my stuff ain't. That's where I was. Look what I was projecting. And then everywhere I went. And you know what? Everywhere I went, I was getting this projection, except for when you get up there and you sing, and people go, oh, wow. I don't understand why he's not making it. And you say to yourself, I don't either. But deep inside, you don't know this, but something is trying to tell you you are not making it because you've already made it, but you still got the veil, and the veil is all of the reasons why you are not making it. And what really woke me up to it was this guy asked me to come over and sing this song at the club where Jamal sings. It's a burger joint over in Capitol Heights. Or, I don't know. No, not Capitol Heights, but Camp Springs or Suitland or Fort. I don't know what it is. It's all one little. I don't know, man. Oxon Hill, whatever. Camp Springs. So he asked me to come and sing this song. And I said, okay. He sent Jamal a clip. Jamal sent me the clip. I get dressed. Last Thursday night, go over there and come in and sit down. I'm sitting there and they call it, it's that open mic. Now, I don't even like open mic, but I was good because the guy asked me what I do, and Jamal plays there. So I said, okay. They calling up all these same people. One guy, they called him up that he sang twice. Oh, I mean, people just getting up singing, and what have you. Then after so long, a break. Now they're supposed to open mic is supposed to be on the second set. Okay? But they're having it through the first set. They got these people singing twice. They're friends. Finally, I'm sitting there, and I'm going to cut to the chase. Most of the folk, they closed at 9, and most of the people got up between 8:30 and 8:45, and they were all leaving. Wasn't nobody there. Me and a few other old dudes. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, okay. So I got up, and I looked at Jamal, and I said, Jamal, I'm going to go, man. And he said, okay. Because they had never called me. I get outside, I'm sitting out there in the truck, and the guy who offered me, who asked me to come and sing, came out there to talk to me and said, man, Maul didn't put you on the list. Does that make sense to y'all? You asked me to come over and sing, but then you're going to tell me Jamal didn't put me on the list. I'm like, oh, man. I can't, you honestly expect that I'm so stupid, I'm supposed to believe that. So I looked at him and I said, look, man, you need to understand something. And this was the clincher. This is what made me come into this enlightened state. I said, let me tell you something. I've been in this a long time. I've had people doing this kind of stuff to me for a long time. I've had people that have stolen music from me. I've got people who have, I started naming off big-time people that have taken music from me. People up at Philadelphia International Rep, Grover Washington Jr. I'm naming all these. I said, look, I got a guy right now that stole my whole track, What's the Cat, and got himself up on that singing something that just minding my business. That's supposed to be some rap. He took my song. I said, I've been going through this a long time, bro. So I tell you what, man, I ain't concerned myself with this no. Well, man, look, we ain't gonna be there next Thursday, which is tonight. We're gonna be there a week from Thursday, which would be like the 16th. Can you come back and sing then? I said, I'll let you know. Now, you know what? He should have known from me saying, I'll let you know. My wife used to always say, if Michael tell you maybe he going to do something, he ain't done. I'll let you know means I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to even let you know. I'm going to move on. My son, Jamal says, Dad, you and Uncle Bob, he's especially Uncle Bob, talking about Rev on this class. He said, if Rev will cut you back and you don't even know you cut back. I'm just saying, I am not going to project no more failure on me. Forget it. I don't think materially no more. If I start thinking materially, then I ain't going to pour no feeling in it because I know projection, perfection. You will project a complete error. Error in its completeness. Sin in its completeness. Remember when Jesus said, if a man lusts after a woman's body, he has already committed it in his heart? Nobody really knew what that meant. You know what that means? He has felt in his own feelings having somebody else's wife, somebody else's significant other. He is lusted, and he's feeling it. That's what James was talking about. You're drawn away after your own lust, your feelings. Your feelings. And so then when you realize, I ain't doing this no more, it's over. I ain't gonna feel. I know what it means to feel something. That means it's coming forth. That's your labor pain. That's having babies without having to go through all of this through labor pain. You just, oh wow, man. I feel this cold coming on. Okay. There you go. See, I don't feel, y'all see me wiping my nose? Sometimes when it's like, if you got your heat at night down, and then when you get up and you cut the heat up, that mixture of the cold and the warm air will cause my nose to run a little bit. And so I just go, well, you know what? If I'm patient, that one day that ain't going to be happening no more, but I ain't going to be paying no attention. In the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead on and wipe it down. So, coming to the end of this, behold, I stand at the door and knock means all of the good, the dominion, the love, all of the fruit of the Spirit, all the stuff I'm supposed to be thinking of is standing at the door. Your thoughts, Isaiah 55, your thoughts are not my thoughts and your ways are not my ways. Why? Because you have this personal concept of yourself, Michael, and you start thinking about what would be good for you from a personal material standpoint. If I had all this money, I'd be able to pay this, and I'd be able to pay that, and do this, and I'd be free. Yeah, but what if you understood you have all of that because you have the idea of it? And the idea and the that are the same thing. You cannot have one without the other. So, I am projecting the truth that expresses fulfillment. So the bad and the worst keep coming because I keep thinking about the bad and the worst coming, and I keep pouring feeling into it, and wow, us makes man. Feeling and thought, soul, that's the realm of soul. So the more human and the more material I think, the more it keeps coming past that way. So if I realize that the personal mind, this is important, the personal concept of mind cannot be controlled. It cannot. It's all over the place. You ever tried to control chaos? But the moment you say, well, wait a minute, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to try to control my mind. What mind? A mind that doesn't exist. I'm not going to try to control that. There's only the one mind, omniscient God. So the way to control that is to do what? Project only one, not opposite. Just one, the good. You just sitting there thinking about, watch this now. Not if I have, but you sitting there thinking, I have hope. I have faith. Everything that you have is an idea. And your feelings will bring those ideas to pass. You see, I never will forget. And I won't put all this on the tape, but I can tell you this. As long as I allowed myself to think about what I have, I poured feeling into it, whether it was good, whether it was bad. You know, seeing the wood on TV, it was indifferent. I would like to see that, boom, it came. I'd like to see, there's a scene in The Best Man, boom, it came. It was on last night. You know, and I'm sitting there going, but if I realize that I am set apart for a specific purpose, and that purpose is to manifest the fruit of the Spirit based on every time I think about what I have. To him who has, it shall be given. I have the idea of every good that there is, and I have dominion over that idea, and I accept it and pour feeling into it. I can't help but pour feeling into it. Once you ever notice that what you accept as true, you automatically feel it. It comes right along with it. And once that feeling comes along, just like right now, I know what I'm telling you is true, and my feeling is all over it. That means I'm manifesting my own world, which means people who believe like me. And I have to be faithful over that. That's what Greg Braden means by no hidden agenda. See, I'm not trying to get something from you by telling you this stuff. I am giving you this stuff because it is the truth, and all there is the truth, and my feelings are pointed forth, and you will go from this day. Here's the fruit of the, remember he says the gifts of the Spirit, desire spiritual gifts. One of the spiritual gifts is prophecy. That's why y'all going to have a good day the rest of the day. The rest of the day. You're going to have a good day because that's my world. That's what I see. You set up on here and you listen to me pontificate for an hour. So now you're going to go from here, and your life, by grace, is going to be one good after the other, because every time some stinking thought comes in your brain, you're going to say, I ain't going to feel that. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Michael Orr told me, do I want this in my life? That's what you're going to ask. Do I want this in my experience? No. Or the people running around going, well, God may not want me to have this. Do you want to have it? That's God wanting to have it. You want health? You want wholeness? You want peace and love and joy? You want companionship? You want fruit? You want to give? You give whatever you have. That's why when I get off my meter down in front of the county building, if I got 2 hours on there and I see somebody, I don't care who they are, looking for a meter, I say, hey, take mine. I'm getting ready to leave. Why? Because I know I'm giving to me. See, I'm entertaining angels all the time. Projector, projection, perfection. You are loading what you are projecting. That thought that you're feeling is going to come forth when you ain't thinking about it no more. Amen. And so it is.